Hey guys, Josh Yoder here, Future Contributions. So excited to be here once again with you guys. We're approaching the end of the year. For some of us, it's coming up way too quick and we're not ready. And some of us have surpassed our goals. Either one of them, we still have work to do. Today, I have a special treat here with us, my good friend, Alan MacLoughlin. I have known him for many years. He's a big contributing factor to my success. I'm indebted to him. The story with you guys all heard of my success story. He's a big part. He moved me down here from Pennsylvania in the car business, and he gave me a nice paycheck to do it so I could make the journey with my family, and really retaught me how to sell and how to relate with people, leadership, discipleship, things like that. So I really appreciate him. Alan is just a wealth of knowledge. He is very successful in his own right. He had his start in the car business, running 15 different dealerships. He attracted so much national attention, they actually pulled him down here to Florida, which that's why he came, took a very failing dealership to number one here in the Sarasota area. And I had the privilege going on that journey with him, at least part of it. I like to think I was a little bit due to that success.
Oh, a lot due to that success.
So, no, that was a lot of fun together. But now in the recent years, he has now founded the MacLoughlin Group. So real estate guru, anything in real estate, he knows how to do it. His team is the absolute best. So if you're looking for a home or real estate or land lots and things like that, look up the MacLoughlin Group. He is the guy. So today we're going to talk just about business principle and success. And we're going to talk to Alan about kind of how he got his start. So I'm going to ask him a couple of questions and really just dive down into how was he's able to get to success, maintain success, fall from success, regain success, because success is not a straight line up. You know, we all know that. It's an up and down. So starting out with, Alan, just that, how did you get your start? Where did you start from? Because I know you weren't born a billionaire. So.
Yeah, we came from super humble backgrounds where my family was, through my mom was always a core to strength, but we had, she was married and divorced 5 times throughout my childhood. So we had some strange people coming in and out of the life. A couple of them I called dad. So I came from food stamps and basically latchkey kid stuff.
Wow.
So very humble beginnings, but I think the sales aptitude got instilled from my mom. I don't think I know. Mm-hmm. She had us selling Thin Mints for Christmas if we wanted Christmas cash, right?
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Okay, but I'm rolling forward in my 20s. I realized that I'm a salesperson. I sold oil with Conoco. I sold mattresses with a jobber out of Phoenix, a big outfit. And I sold industrial tools. So, and somebody said I should have been a porn star if you put all those things together. And I said, that's ridiculous. And I don't even watch it. But literally the car business sucked me in because they gave me a new demo. Mm-hmm. I was 23 years old when I got into it and loved it, like every part of it. Watch the top guys, watch what they do, and just changed. And I was fortunate enough, my wife at the time, I already had a 2-year-old. And my wife at the time was a coach from Coach University here out of Florida. Mm-hmm. And her, somebody that really liked her as she was going through this academy, his name is Sandy Vyas, and he owned Coach U. So that was my coach. I hired him at 23. He wanted $500 a month. That was like half of my mortgage at the time. And he said, I'm not discounting it because of your wife, so you're either going to pay it or not. Mm-hmm. And rolling forward, it changed my life. Like in car sales, it was interesting. You'd stand around and wait for things to happen. You weren't contributing to anybody's life. You were just trying to close the deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And Josh, that what he said is, he says, you're no longer going to meet people. You're going to create business, and you're going to get in and you make phone calls and you can make appointments. And if you don't have an appointment, if you're not managing your business by appointment, MBA, mm-hmm. that system is what he called it. If you're not going to get your MBA, I'm not working with you. So you tell your wife you're not going to make a check for 2 months and get going. So I did, and I became the top salesman, the top finance director, the top manager, the top general sales manager, the GM, multiple stores, rooftops, and ran through that career. And here in Sarasota, running it fastly forward, absolutely a whole new pitch in my life, a whole new another volume, another chapter. What I found when I got here is that the nature that you talked about, even in your motivational videos, the nature that we have here is so vibrant, so resilient that you can't deny it. You have to take it in. You could just be working and never go to the beach, but all of a sudden you're driving over a bridge and you can have an alligator, or you're going somewhere and you see nature. And that really changed my outlook. It changed my outlook on business and personal. And I really feel like today, with building businesses and future contribution, I remember when we were first talking about that, we were doing some role playing and some coaching sessions together. And I remember you saying, here's what I want to do. And you wrote everything out. We had literally pages of it. So I'm trying to understand your life and really get the mumble jumble put together. But there was one thing that resonated so much about you personally that I just loved. It's been a magnet since I learned this. And it was about, here's the deal. I'm going to change other people's life. I'm going to exponentially change other people's life. And in layman's terms, you would say, how did you say that? You would say, I'm going to do enough for other people and get them something that they need. And then in return, my life will be full of abundance.
Yeah.
And oh my God. And rolling it forward, watching these years go by with what you've developed with your own personal business, in your personal life, people that work with you, because nobody works for you.
That's really good.
The leadership skill set that you developed. I pride myself on my own business with that. And I've always had agent partners with real estate. I've never been the owner. I'd rather be that hidden guy than be the boss or the owner. And I make them feel so empowered every day. They get to involve decisions. And I always like, it's real Google as kind of a little term that we'd use, because we're like real estate Google. We put it on the table and we break it and then we put it back together, and it's usually better. And it comes from the people that I work with, not from me. I get to have some say in it, but I mean, Josh, I feel like I'm rambling on a couple points, but the point that I have for where we're at, even to this podcast, the growth that I've seen in business development with what you've done with yours, what I've been able to do with multiple businesses that I have right now, it's phenomenal. And it comes out of making sure that every inertia, every initiative that I'm doing is at a true contribution. I'm gonna overplay the word because it's something that resonates in my meditation and prayers, and how when I'm in a bad energy spot, I go right to there and go, oh, I'm being selfish. I'm not doing something that's for somebody else. I'm doing it all for me. And those are my worst spots of the day. And it happens. Yeah. I come in and out of it. So I really feel like here tonight in this podcast, what I'd like a business owner, a small business owner to take out of it is that I'm the opposite of you. I am not rise and grind. Although I don't go to bed until the work is done. I 1 o'clock last night, 4 o'clock this morning, at the gym at 5. Am I tired? I don't know. I didn't have coffee today because I got to lay off the caffeine, but I really feel invigorated about whatever I'm working on. And I'll put the kid down and do the other things, my family duties, and then I'll work until I pass out if it's what it takes. And whether it's healthy or not, I'll do cycles like that. And then I know during the moments of that time that I have something to look forward to. It's called meditation. It's called bringing the things forward that are really going to make a huge difference in somebody's life. When I say somebody's life, as soon as I get out of my own way, every day in business, today in business, many examples, and I'm working through their problem, and I'm working through solutions that help people that I'm involved with, business partners, clients, doesn't matter, vendors. I find that I'm just glowing. I'm resonating their energy and their power by going, all right, we have, this is an issue or this is a problem. If I can't solve it right now, I like step back and try to understand it. But Josh, what I've found, I'd like to go back to you for a second, because I haven't talked a lot about my businesses, but I just gave the secret sauce to it. It's trying to figure out what other people need in their energy bandwidth that day. So if I'm out with somebody and I could feel their energy. And if you're in tune with the other person more than yourself, and you're not trying to gain something from them, you're trying to seek to understand first, Stephen Covey, then to be understood, then I realized that, okay, this person's in a bad spot right now. I don't know what happened or whatever. It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
But something's off in the energy, and I got to figure out what I can do to help them level up, get to the next spot. And sometimes it's a pause. Here, you all right? Can we catch this in another couple hours? I recognize it. And they're like, you know what? You're right. We should probably, take a beat. And I've been very blessed. I've had a lot of influences too. A lot of influences. And I've had a coach since I was 23 years old to some extent or another. I've had gaps, but I realized that with running a real estate company, that right now today in the market, it's as volatile as it's ever been. Emotions and energy in our country is as high level as it's ever been. People are
If I can ask you a question on that point, like I'm curious, with all your different businesses, all your different business ventures, what has kept your emotions in check when you were failing trying to succeed?
I wish I could say I always had the executive management hat on at all times, and I could always do the separation. I've always been good at not having high, the spikes, because I was trained professionally to not go. If I got a guy screaming in my face, I'm going to have a little barrier, but I'd rather put my hands up and try to defuse, cut back so that I don't have unless it's violent, then I call you. But basically, to answer the question directly, it's difficult because of how fast we go and how much information is coming at us on a daily basis. And the more successful that you become, the more information channels you're reviewing. And I'm not just talking about social media, and I'm not talking about learnings, and I'm talking about that on a daily basis, we're taking in, 60, 70,000 thoughts and pieces of information that is on so much overload that there's no human that can handle what we're taking in without having emotional reactions to it. So you're either really placid and you're trying to separate yourself from all this data, the wife, the girlfriend, the domestic partnership, whatever you're into, you're trying to figure out what's going on with that and how to better it. And your body, we hope, your spirituality, you're trying to get your quadrants together. If you're really starting to get balance, I'm imbalanced a lot of times because of work and building businesses.
Right.
But I find that to me, there's a very high level of emotion, stress, desperate measures. People are fighting and flighting and fleeting more than I've ever experienced in my whole life.
Rather than pursuing, they're running away.
Yeah. That's well put. I feel like I'm a calm in that storm. And if I can leave somebody, I have a buddy of mine was my coach for years, and he wrote a book called How You Leave Them Feeling. And that always really hit me. It's like, how am I leaving somebody feeling? Am I taking away, or am I contributing to this interaction?
How are you leaving somebody feeling?
That's right.
That's really good.
And I know the tough part, which you had asked, like, what do you do? How do you balance the
how do you
highs and
keep
lows?
your mindset in a place, or your emotions to a place where you're combating all this stuff, pre-programming yourself so you don't have to think, you react. And you always react in a way that is bettering your future rather than, going down the path and lowering yourselves to somebody else's substandard of anger. Blow up or whatever, So you said you have your meditation, you have your family, and it means a lot to you too. But when you're scaling and building businesses, is it more so the vision, mission, and value that you would say for you, or what do you think that because everybody gets a point where they want to quit? And I always say, until you want to quit, you haven't started, because at that point is when you truly figured out that you're doing this more than just because you thought it was a great idea. The rubber now hit the road.
That's right.
So at that hinge point, how can business owners, because most businesses fail under 2 and most don't make it to 5. So we're reaching those pinpoints of how do we keep our emotions in check, especially as guys, keep our prides away and keep our successes in the front. What does that look like on a daily basis for you?
Absolutely wonderful question, because I really feel like, for me, because I'm in an industry with one of the highest fail rates out there. Mm-hmm. We got a 90-some% first year fail rate for realtors. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult because of the tensions that are out there, and different governmental changes like the new NARS Act creates this different aura or different experience. So to answer the question directly, I really feel like the battle is all within inside. It's all mental, and it's also really recognizing your human behaviors. When I say that, today, an example with my life today, I went down and I figured, and I'm building homes down south of here, and I went down and I just realized that I didn't check on an insurance change that just happened about 4.5 months ago, and it doubled the insurance rates on one product that I have. It makes it unsellable. So I have this trajectory, and we're going to do 25 of these things. Yep. And I called the investors and go, we got to take a beat. I'm doing a little more research on this, but we had a change that I missed. I'm taking responsibility for it. And I was like a balloon that just got popped. It was so deflating.
So you think taking responsibility for mistakes is what really helped you?
It was responsibility, but what you had asked is, how do you really deal with that? So I knew I had an emotion reaction to a failure. Mm-hmm. My failure was that I didn't know this information earlier, and that I was supposed to. Mm-hmm. I took responsibility for it, but I also know, how am I going to react to it? How long am I going to react to it? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be in this thing for a day, a month, a year, or seconds? So it drained me to the point where I said, I am so tired, I'm not functioning right. So I drove back from it's in Punta Gorda. I drove back there and I go, I need a nap. I get home and the wife is like, can you take the baby, go pick up the kid? And I'm like, yes. So I kept going.
Good job.
And went and got it. And then I figured out how to charge my new electric car and plug in and sleep. I slept for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I could think clear, and I had none of the emotional stuff.
Stepping away.
I'm giving you my personal example of how easy it is. Mm-hmm. Recognizing during the course of the day when you are not at optimum because you think you've got to do your tasks. You're the business owner, you're a high-level employee, you're an executive. Having the emotional intelligence to be able to go, I literally am not in my right state. I had too much coffee. Something's going on. I'm too geared up, and I'm not able to handle this the way that I would normally be able to handle this, or as good as I can handle this. What do? You stop. You stop yourself. You pause. Mm-hmm. You take a step back. You leave the room. You get in the car. You drive to the forest. You do something that takes minutes, and you pause it and you reset it. For me, it's meditation. When I get into that spot, I take a 12-minute, 15-minute meditation. I don't care who's what. I'll leave a meeting. And I have to meditate now to be able to get back into my core.
It's really interesting you say that, because in the FC system, we teach a lot of times there are stop signs. A customer will tell you when to stop. And if you don't, what happens when you run a stop sign? You get T-boned. You may or may not make it out. That deal might die. I never thought of that way in business as you're personally pursuing your business, Alan. What you just said is you're going through your day and there's stop signs that come up. And if we don't recognize ourselves, because the new motivational video that we put out there was all about recognizing ourselves and knowing ourselves. We know our trigger points. And if you don't know, go ask your wife or your partner. They probably do. And then find out what they are, and know those positions and areas is what you're saying is when you find yourselves in, and then recognize them and say, hey, I'm reaching a stop sign in my emotional state right now. I need to stop, take a beat, like you're saying, taking a step back. And then when I can do that, once the road's clear, then I can go through. But me in the early years, and I still find myself just this way, and a lot of business owners, is they think that stopping is the wrong thing to do. And there's a reason there's a gas pedal and a brake on a car. For some reason, I'm really good at the gas pedal, not so good at the brake. And a lot of business owners I know can relate, but that can get us into a lot of danger. So I like the way that you said that. We've got to recognize those emotional stop points, because if we run them, it's anger, we're acting outside of our emotional intelligence, we're making decisions we wouldn't normally make, and it's going to take us a lot further back. So taking a few minutes could gain us a few years in success.
Oh,
that's amazing. I love how you said that. Yeah.
I really feel like all of us have had this school of hard knocks. I've had the Flintstone version where I literally have had boulders just bouncing off of my head. So I think everybody has had their story. I also feel that on that note, in this day, in business today, which is more difficult than it was last year, 100% for most. There's people thriving like your companies. They're figuring it out, and it's all based on what they're doing and how they're treating the people or handling the AI, you could say. I do a lot of AI integration into my business too. But how we're treating the people that we're trying to service or trying to help us service makes such a big difference. And being able to feel their energy as a coach, as a business owner, as a friend, as a family member, know where they're at throughout the moments of the day, because we all change and nobody's the same. We don't have robots. Well, you can hire a robot.
I guess you can. We can now,
but we're not robots. And so if I went in and to your business, I feel like a savant because I can feel everybody's energy. So I'm like, happy person. Whoa, they're having a tough time getting their body going this morning. And if you're in tune with your connections, and it could just be one person, it could be one client, one billionaire that's servicing your company and you're doing really well with it. But if you're in tune with that person in that moment and you understand what they're feeling and how they're reacting to the either information or energy or emotion to whatever you're serving up or whatever you're doing in your business that day, you are so many light years ahead of every single business owner. Because it matters. And I find that nobody's expert. I feel that I'm expert in that during certain times because I still have fail points. Something that you said earlier too that I didn't want to miss. For somebody that's just building a business, somebody that would hire you or future contributions to help them wrap around some people call it weak points. I call it opportunities. I don't work on my weak stuff. I usually hire that out and I work on my strengths and make those better.
Good. Yeah.
Because I don't want to learn how to do IT and technical. It's not fun for me. I'm hiring somebody for that. If I can't afford to hire, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to painfully go through it. But I'm going to get out of there the minute I can afford to get out of there because I shouldn't be in that space.
Yeah.
It takes energy. It's like doing an Excel spreadsheet for me. I hate it, but I'm really good at it. And I have to do it in some accounting things. But if I can stay in these moments throughout my business day, recognizing the energy of the people at the store, and I'm in a bad mood because I didn't sleep, and Anna is my wife, and she was asking me for too much, I thought, or didn't contribute into my world the way I wanted it, or something like that. And I'm starting my day out in the rears, right? And I go to a grocery store. What I immediately learned now, I stay in that stuff for minutes, not days now, is that I'm going to take in smiles and people. I'm only going to go with the people that are smiling and happy. And I'm going to smile right back at them and suck the energy right out of them and give to them. And I'm going to stay in that moment with everybody that I interact with, because I interact with a lot of people, and so do you on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I feel like I'm not in myself. I'm caring about them and I'm doing something for them. The key to business, the key to successful business, always. The numbers come to you if you're in the right state and you need a business plan. You need all the stuff that you can help everybody with. I'm not saying you can terrorize some of the stuff that I have written out, but I start looking at my vision board every day. I have a very articulated vision board, and then I change it. That's not working. Why do I want to have golf lessons? I haven't swung a golf club since I've come to this state, and I'm a decent golfer. Why do I have to have golf lessons this year? It's on my board. I'm going to do it. It's a goal. I'm going to get it in 20 lessons. And then I go, why? Why do I want it? Because I want to be able to talk to people out and do business on the golf course. Not a good enough reason. I can drop a ball and I can take a putter or I can do whatever. I don't need golf lessons for that, off the board.
So really, when you're doing your goals, you're envisioning where I want to be at the end of the year. And whatever doesn't meet that, you take it out.
That's correct. But I do mine I have 5-year, 10-year, 1 year.
Sure.
And I have health and I have business, and they're on different boards. I have boards all over the place.
Yeah. I know. I've been in his office there every day.
And then I realized I look at them every day, every single day. And I journal also about my day. And I've gotten good to talk to myself now, because it used to be oh, and this and that. And I don't know if I was talking in third party, but I journal about, I want somebody to be able to read my journal today and understand what I was journaling. So it's like an unselfish and a selfish thing, because I want my son to be able to pick up my journal and learn the ways of my successes and my thinking, my high level thinking, and my emotional intelligence and my interactions throughout the day and how I responded to it. I write out the keys every day, and I will not go to bed until I journal. So if I'm falling asleep, I'll fall asleep. I've literally woke up with drool on my journal, but I'm not going to bed until I journal, so that I can release what I had emotionally into that, and I can cut it, and then I meditate and go to sleep. And I start with a new day.
Yeah.
A lot of rambling. I talked a lot, Josh, but I have a lot to say on these topics of coaching and developing people's business. Mm-hmm. And when you're helping somebody at every level, I could be the guy that I can barely pay my bills. And I need help, and I can't afford it. I can't afford anything. Even Future Contributions has so much out there that's free that you can go and utilize. But if I'm that person, but I really have the energy and the intention to do something with it, mm-hmm. if I have it written, people that do not write down what they want will never get it. I don't care what anybody says. So it has to be written, and then it has to be articulated in such fine detail that your body, Joe Dispenza, your body does not know the difference in your mind between reality and the Disney that you have on the paper.
Good.
So if that's clear and the clarity's there, you can accomplish so much, mm-hmm. because my body is subconsciously doing what I'm working 24/7 on my goals. Mm-hmm. My subconscious is doing what I'm moving towards. And when I get tired and when I derail and when I think that guy cut me off and I have a feeling about it, I just go back to the fact that I recognize the thought, it's not real, and I'm coming back to reality. Small business owners, what I would recommend, the best thing that I could take out of this podcast, if I was to contribute something to you, is that get out of your head and get into your heart. And your heart power will help you guide to make the right decisions and use your stinking intuition. You figure women have this natural intuitive sense to them, the spidey sense, the intuition. They do. They just have it.
It's true.
It's wired. It's geared. It's in their chemistry. Guys have it too, and guys that are in tune with their heart power have it as much or more than anybody. It does it now. You're just taking out, genes and genetics and all this stuff. You're literally tapping into what your highest power is every single day, so that you can resonate out and be good for the people that you're in. They can feel your heart power, mm-hmm. and get out of your head and into your heart and get off the paper and into reality. And the reality is that I have a business that's not doing what I want. I have a business that's flourishing. And how am I giving back? And am I contributing to other people's lives? My clients, my vendors, my employees, my partners. What am I doing every day that makes them feel good about the interactions with me? Mm-hmm. When I accomplish that, Josh, I have won, and people just flock to me. They want to feel that. And I'll end with 1:28 left. I want to hear some more stuff from you. Is that I didn't listen a lot, because this is set to learn. You do all the talking and you bring people in. The listening skill set, once that's defined at a very high level, mm-hmm. and you can let somebody express what they want, if they talk for an hour, 10 minutes, or 3, and you understand what they're saying, not the words, mm-hmm. the body language, all the stuff, you've got a person forever.
Yeah. That's awesome. Wealth of knowledge. We're just scratching the surface of the deep points into business, but we get together every week and we dive in for 30 minutes of these gold nuggets. And if you get enough gold nuggets, you get rich. So that's what we're looking for. Rich mentally, rich physically, rich spiritually, rich family and friends, and rich money. So I'm so proud of every accomplishment that every one of you guys have done so far this year. If you missed your goal, it's okay. It's okay to be where you're at. Reallocate. One thing that you said continually, time after time tonight, was you determine your success on other people's success that mean a lot around you. It's not fun to get to the top of the mountain and have your own success and drink your own glass of brandy at the top by yourself. It doesn't work like that.
I'm honored to be here tonight,
Yes.
too, and thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Everybody. It's awesome.
Have a great week, guys. Future Contributions, Business Development. Next week is going to be Christmas, so we will not be having a podcast next week. Have an amazing time with your families.
Happy
Merry
holidays,
Christmas and
everybody.
happy holidays. We'll see you guys later.